Hey everyone, welcome to Post to Post. My name is Neil. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you're having a good weekend. This video is the result, the announcement, the winner, okay, gets announced in this video of this most recent contest on the channel. Roughly 6 weeks ago, I guess it was, I challenged you guys to come up with 8 different logos for 8 different potential new NHL teams. Those teams were as follows. The Atlanta Thrashers, it's an obvious one. Halifax Highlanders, that was a selfish one because I live on the east coast of Canada. Hamilton Tigers, there's some history there. Houston Aeros, some history there. Kansas City Scouts, same thing. Milwaukee Harleys, it's a bit of a new one. Quebec Nordiques, everyone knows that one. And Portland Anchors, another bit of a new one. So those 8 teams, I challenged you to come up with 8 different logos. We got 43 submissions. It's a lot of work, right? You need to come up with 8 logos, so the submissions were down compared to previous contests. However, one of the main rules, if not the most important rule, is to not steal artwork. Everything has to be original. So there were some disqualifications. So I'd probably say there were about 60 total entries, and 17-ish were disqualified. So it's gonna be a long video. Okay, grab your snacks, grab your drinks. This is one of those videos that you probably don't want to watch on your phone because there's going to be a lot of there's 8 logos in one space here. So I would suggest if you can throw it up on a TV, a computer, a laptop, anything like that, probably watch this one on one of those bigger screens if you can. I will go through these one at a time, all 43. I'll talk a little bit about some of the logos that each person has created. Then we're going to do the finalists. I've got written down here. And sorry, not finalists, but the top 3 for every single team. So I picked my favorite 3 for the Atlanta Thrashers, my favorite 3 for the Quebec Nordiques, and then I'll tell you the actual finalists and who had the best lot of 8 logos, and then we get a winner. So let's get into this. Let's start off with the first contestant. Okay, so the first person we're going to be looking at actually does not have a name. I'm sure they do have a name, but they did not submit it. So in their email was 2520987. Sorry, but that's your name for this one because I don't know it. So let's take a look at your work here. We've got some pretty cool logos. I like your Atlanta Thrashers one up on the top right. The Quebec one is also pretty cool. I like that one a lot. And then the Houston one down below on the bottom left. I can see what you're doing there with the Texas outline and then the plane above the state. That one's pretty cool. Next up on the list is Aaron, and these should be by abbreviation, alphabetical order as far as name. I think I have all these named properly. Yeah, so alphabetical order. So Aaron has submitted these, some definite cool ones in here. The Portland Anchors one specifically, I thought was really cool, incorporating the anchor and the letter P. The Houston Aeros one was also really cool. I love the colors, and you've added some actual movement to the props, which is excellent. I would say my least favorite on this list is probably the Milwaukee Harleys because it looks like a wheelbarrow a little bit. So, but overall, it's some pretty awesome logos in here. Next, we got Austin. Austin's got some good ones as well. The Quebec Nordiques one threw me off a little bit because the abbreviation for Ontario is ON, and when I see that, I just see ON. I don't see Q, and I definitely see ON. The Atlanta Thrashers one is really cool. I love the stylization to it. I love the fact that you've got the Thrasher in there, the actual bird. The colors are great. It's got highlights on it, so it's very, very good. The Kansas City Scouts one, I almost disqualified the entire thing because of the Kansas City Scouts one. I don't believe that you've drawn that horse. It looks like a photo of a horse that's been photoshopped into some filter, which would technically be a disqualification, but I like it in general, so I decided to keep it on here. So yeah, some pretty good logos in here. Austin J. So in here we've got some cool ones. The Atlanta Thrashers one, I love the colors, and they're like almost like little shapes and stuff inside the T. I thought that was really cool. Houston Aeros one was also really interesting, but I think my favorite on here was the Quebec Nordiques. It's got symbolism of the Great White North. The colors are appropriate, and there's an N in there, which is cool. Next is Bogdan. I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly, Bogdan. He's gone with a really simplistic approach here. The Atlanta Thrashers is really cool. The Houston Aeros one is also excellent. The Halifax Highlanders one is just phenomenal. You've got a sword in there, but it also makes up the H, H on both sides. Halifax, H for Halifax, H for Highlanders. Just a brilliant logo. I really, really like that one a lot. Hamilton Tigers, you've got some tiger texture in there or whatever, so that one looks pretty cool. Let's move on. Christian M. Wow, some definitely good ones in here. I think my least favorite one on here is the Quebec Nordiques one, just because of the silly little toque that's on there. But like, it makes so much sense at the same time. The Halifax Highlanders one was really interesting. I love the gradients and I love the colors in the Atlanta Thrashers one. The Houston Aeros one was cool too. Like, conceptually, I can kind of see like a pilot, an old school pilot with the leather kind of hat on and the goggles and whatnot. That would be neat. I just didn't really like the face. It felt it almost looked like a zombie or something like that. But conceptually, a lot of really good ideas in here. Next is Christian Zed. Wow, some good ones in here. The Houston Aero ones is great. You can see that, that contrail there making up the cross section of the A, and it also comes right through the A, so there's a bit of perspective, and I love aviation as well. The Hamilton Tigers one I adore. Typically, I don't like simplistic style logos like that. But man, what a cool logo. It's got dimension. The T kind of like comes through the back half of the H, but like it would sit like, right on there. The colors make sense for their history. Just a really, really simple logo, but really well executed and symmetrical logo. Just great. The Kansas City Scouts one I also loved. I think it looks a little bit like a shoulder patch though. I would be the perfect shoulder patch. I wouldn't change anything about it. But I had a hard time seeing it on the front of a jersey. And my least favorite in here was probably the Milwaukee Harleys. I felt like those Pistons or whatever they are, they just felt a little bit distracting. I know it makes up the M, which is cool, but I just felt it was a bit distracting. Cole sent these ones in, and he's got some good ones. The Kansas City Scouts one, I love the bit of drop shadow. If you think of the New York Rangers numbers, they use that really extended drop shadow to make it look like a big giant 3D thing. So Cole's done that here, and the Kansas City one looks good. The Atlanta Thrashers one looks good as well. So, and the Quebec Nordiques one is also very good. Connor sent these ones in. And he's used some kind of site because there's a watermark on here. So I wasn't sure if I should disqualify this one or not, because I wasn't sure if it was authentic or original, rather, graphics, or just, kind of like planted in ones. But I like the Atlanta Thrashers one a lot. I really like the Portland Anchors one. I thought that one was very cool. And then the colors chosen for the Quebec Nordiques, I think, was just such a great decision. A mint green with a dark blue, kind of like I guess the Seattle Kraken. I don't know. It just completely works for the Nordiques there. I like those colors. Drew sent these ones in. A fantastic collection. The Kansas City Scouts one is really good. The Portland Anchors one is great. The Houston Aeros one is very good. The Halifax Highlanders one is excellent. I think, like, so overall, like, some really, really good logos in here. I'm not in love with any of them, but none of them are bad. That's kind of how I feel about these ones. So just an excellent job here by Drew. Next is Eddie. Eddie's got some good ones. The Houston Aeros one is pretty cool. You've got that, that Texas star in there in the prop, actually, of the plane, which is interesting because it also kind of makes that, the rotation of the prop. The Portland Anchors one is also pretty cool. The water actually is like sprouting up and making the P up and over the anchor. I thought conceptually that was a really, really cool idea too. Eric has these ones. The Halifax Highlanders one is just phenomenal. I love how symmetrical it is. It almost makes a shield as well. So like you're grabbing the sword, you're going to battle. I love it. It fits totally in with the name of the Highlanders. Houston Aeros one is nice. I felt it was a little bit generic. It just looks like a typical, I guess, the chevron logo that you'd see, kind of on an Air Force arm. So a little bit generic, but I do like it. The Atlanta Thrashers one, I do like it, but it's so busy. There's so many jagged edges, just a little bit busy. Quebec Nordiques one, I felt was really out of place, having the fleur-de-lis right on top of that wolf logo. There's no separation between them. It's too flat. So might just like to see a little bit more separation. Love the colors with the Portland Anchors here and the design. I thought that was really cool. And the Kansas City Scouts one was cool too. Frank submitted these ones. Look at the Atlanta one. Just amazing. He went with a different approach to a Thrasher, which was really cool to see. I like the Houston Aeros one as well. Since I'm a bit of a science and space geek, I like to see the space station up there. I thought that was really cool. The Portland one was also interesting. A little bit of play on with some shapes in the words there. Pretty cool. Okay, next is Gabe. Gabe's got some good ones. His Atlanta Thrashers one is cool. It almost looks like a plane as well, and he did a fantastic job with the Houston Aeros. He's got two like solid rocket boosters making up the H as well. We got some flames coming out, so just a great job on that one. I really like that one. Jackson with some absolute killer designs here. The Houston Aeros one is great. I'm going to speak a little bit about this one a little bit later, but I question the negative space in here, because if this is going on a white jersey, a dark jersey, how would you stitch this on here because of the separation between the bottom of the state and the plane and then the top. So I have questions as far as how that would physically be created, but I really like it. I love the colors. The Atlanta Thrashers one is pretty much perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it. I felt the Quebec Nordiques one was a little bit busy. The Halifax Highlanders one was pretty cool. It's got a bit of some flag representation in there. The Kansas City Scouts one was also pretty cool. I like the colors, but the Portland Anchors one was it was really, really great. I love the interaction between the P and the anchor. Might switch up the colors a little bit, so there's a bit of color differentiation there between the anchor and the P that kind of blend towards each other a little bit too much, but still very, very good. James has these ones here, and there's also some good ones. Like no one really disappointed. Like that's the thing about all of these logos or all these sets. Like man, you guys did such a good job. It's awesome seeing your work. I like the Hamilton Tigers one. Just a simple, simple H. You've got some tiger texture in there. I thought that that's a really cool approach. The Houston Aeros one, that would make an awesome shoulder patch. I don't think I would change anything about it as far as a shoulder patch, but as a primary logo, not quite sure about that one. The Scouts one was also interesting because of the negative space being used in there. Would love to hear your thoughts on some of these ones. Okay, Jan or Jan, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I apologize. I think I'm going to say Jan. Jan was one of the finalists, I believe, in the last contest. Did such a great job with his drawings. The Houston Aeros one is great. I love that you went with purple, and I love how symmetrical the logo is amazing. The Quebec Nordiques one I also love, just a great job. I like the colors for the Halifax Highlanders. The Atlanta Thrashers one is good. Colors are great. The Milwaukee Harleys was a really unique approach compared to a lot of other logos that were designed for this for this contest. So overall, just a great set here by Jan. Jason is next. He's got some absolute doozies in here. The Houston Aeros one is perfect. I probably wouldn't change anything about it. The Atlanta Thrashers is great, using the original colors with a bit of an updated design and with a circular logo. That's very popular in hockey. The Kansas City Scouts one was also incredible, makes up a bit of a shield. You've got the horse in there, which is great. The Halifax Highlanders, very unique compared to anything that the rest of the competition. You got a bit of a seahorse in there, but also makes up the H, and it's got some Scottish texture in there, or some Highlander texture in there rather. Just great. Also, the Milwaukee Harleys one is just perfect. It's symmetrical. You got some hockey representation in there with the sticks, but it also looks like a Harleys logo. Like it looks great. Wasn't a big fan of the Hamilton Tigers one, to be completely honest. I felt it was a little bit too generic. I couldn't see the eyes. I wanted to see more ferocity from it, so I'd like to see maybe a more aggression from the face. I want to see the eyes. The Portland Anchors one was really good, and the Quebec Nordiques one as well. Jesse submitted these ones. Great Houston Aeros logo. I like that a lot. The colors also pretty cool. A little close to the original New Jersey Devils colors, so I'm not quite sure, but it looks good in the way that you've displayed it or showed it in that logo. Atlanta Thrashers one was okay. Some of the colors in there from the original team was pretty cool. Quebec Nordiques one was awesome. You can see some northern lights, some trees, some houses. I thought that was really cool. The Halifax Highlanders one was so good. Like I really like the colors. The colors are just burgundy and mint green, and then a darker green, and then you got a guy on there or a girl holding the stick. It just looks so good. It reminded me so much of the Glasgow clan though, like very, very close. So docking some points there, but in general, I really like the logo. What else is it? The Kansas City Scouts one is very simplistic. It looks good. John P. submitted these ones. The Harleys one is pretty cool. The Aeros one is great. I'd like to see the plane in there. Let's move on. Johnny's got these ones. The Houston Aeros one was, you have to look at it for like a minute or 2 minutes to see everything, but you can see the H in there, you can see the A in there, you can see a star, which is cool, and you can see the outline or a general shape of the state of Texas, which is really interesting. I thought the Highlanders one was a little bit generic. I like the text down below, how stylized it was, but the silhouette doesn't work. To use such a stylized text, you've got a thick, bold stroke on there. You've got the text itself, which is stylized, but then you've got such a generic like castle building. There's no texture to it. It's just a silhouette. So I felt like there's some clashing there. Jonathan submitted these ones, and he's got some good ones as well. He's got the Kansas City Scouts one. I like the K being in blue, and I like the C being in red. A little bit of differentiation. That's pretty cool. The Quebec Nordiques one was also not too bad. Let's move on. Kevin's got these ones, and some great drawings in here, honestly. The Halifax Highlanders one was really great. I would remove the Halifax Highlanders from the actual logo though. I would just keep the Highlanders up above, and maybe that's what you intended. I'm not quite sure, but really, really interesting. And you've got the skyline as well of Halifax on there, which is I really appreciate. You know, that city that I've been to lots. I appreciate that. Houston Aeros one was also really cool. You got the H as almost a planet, and then you can see kind of the orbit coming around, but it's almost got like some veracity to it and some mystery. So I really like that one a lot. Some great drawings in here. Really cool. Christian has these ones. Christian with a K. And the Houston Aero ones, which was pretty cool. It kind of looks like a cartoon logo, but it's not too bad. The Atlanta Thrashers one, I love the colors. I thought that was great. The Portland Anchors one, that looks like a hockey logo from like the 70s. Like it just, I don't know, there's something about it that I really like. And the Kansas City Scouts one is cool as well. Didn't really like the Hamilton Tigers one that much. It was too cartoony. I can see the bear in there. I can see the T and the H, which is great. But it just, I don't know, it's just a little bit too cartoony. Kyle submitted these ones. Kansas City Scouts one was great. I like the Houston Aeros one as well. You got the puck as the planet, and then a bit of Saturn rings kind of around it, and the Texas state flag on top, which is really interesting. The colors of the Portland Anchors. So it's kind of Miami Vice, right? The blue and the pink, but it looks so good. Again, kind of utilizing the shape of the anchor to make up the left or the long stalk of the P, which is great. So some good logos in here as well. Man, you guys are just killing it. Liam submitted some awesome drawings here. The Houston Aeros drawing is great. It's one of the best Houston Aeros logos I've seen. The Quebec Nordiques one also I really liked. It's a little bit hard to see, but there's the wolf shape. If you guys aren't aware, right before the Quebec Nordiques moved to the Colorado Avalanche, there was a brand decision made that they were going to switch up from their current logo, their current colors, and they had a design already created as a logo and the jersey. There's pictures of it actually if you haven't seen it, and it had a wolf kind of head. So I think Liam here is pulling from that inspiration. If they came back, would they go with that one that they were going to switch to, or would they go with kind of the classic version? But I like what he did. He had the wolf. He had a bit of the mane. Do wolves have manes? I don't know, fur, whatever, on the side coming down. The colors are really cool, and then the fleur-de-lis on top, almost making up like a bit of a crown. Canada is part of the monarchy. Is that the right word? I don't even know. So it makes sense. I think it looks good. The Atlanta Thrashers one was good. The Hamilton Tigers one I thought was excellent. You've got a bit of the tiger texture in there. I can see the skyline. It makes up the H. Just a really cool logo. I thought that was kind of thinking outside the box on that one. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. L-O, a weird I, and then C, Locke. I'm just going to say Locke. Milwaukee one was really cool. Just the tire on there representing the bike, bit of tread pattern, and then Milwaukee, just a very simplistic logo, but it works really well. The Halifax Highlanders one I also thought was very good, and a really cool interpretation of the Quebec one. So you can see the Q being formed, but also it forms a compass as well. And I thought that was pretty cool. I don't love the arrow in there, but I like what you've done with kind of the compass look. Next is Lucas. Lucas created these ones. The Kansas City Scouts one is excellent. I love the colorization there. The Houston Aeros one is also very good, close to some others that we've seen in here. And then the P down on the Portland Anchors, just kind of hanging off the anchor. Thought that one was really cool. The Halifax Highlanders one was also pretty cool. The H and then the two swords in the back. Really cool colors as well. Okay, this one's from Mac, I believe this person's name is, or that was in their email, I'm not sure. The Portland Anchors one is so good. I felt it was maybe a little bit too close to the Seattle Kraken, but you want to create a rivalry there, right? So you've got, I guess we'll say, it could be an octopus, it could be a squid. I don't know the difference between the two, to be honest. But he's grabbing onto the anchor, which is great. And then he's got some like colorization in the tentacles, in the face area, and on the head. But the head up top makes the P for Portland, which was I thought it was great. Such a good drawing, regardless of logo, regardless of anything that's going on. Just a great drawing. The Tiger one was good. The Houston Aero one was just so good. I adore that one. It's great. Kansas City Scouts one, I love the symmetry of it. I love the colors, the aggression on the face. And the Milwaukee Harleys as well. It's a little bit disjointed because you've got the name Harleys and then the bike down below, but it looks good. I don't know if it would look good on the front of a jersey, but like on a t-shirt, man, it would look awesome. Okay, next up we got Nick, and Nick has some stellar ones here, which is weird because I think his last name is Stella. That was not on purpose, I promise. So the Houston Aeros, that is great. A little, it's a little bit clashing with the plane and the text, but it's still very good. Atlanta Thrashers one is good. It looks a little sleepy though, just a little bit sleepy. I like to see more aggression in there. Quebec one is nice, again, kind of with the wolf look. The Halifax Highlanders, I think I've seen that kind of Viking logo 1,000 times, so I wasn't too impressed with that. It's a nice logo. I've just seen it, I feel like, a lot. It looks like a logo out of one of the NHL games or something. The Hamilton Tigers, I thought that one was pretty cool. Very like sharp and I don't know the right word to kind of describe the style of design there, but I did like it. Milwaukee Harley's one I thought was great. Just so different, not only color wise, but design wise from anything else in the competition. So I really wanted to give props to that one. The Portland Anchors one is also excellent, and the Kansas City Scouts one is phenomenal. So just a wonderful job here overall. Next, we got NIEK. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm just going to say Neek. I'm not sure. I apologize. The Houston Aeros one, which is really cool. I like to see the moon in there. You've got the shuttle, which unfortunately no longer exists. And yeah, just great. I like lots that's going on here. The Milwaukee Harleys one was really interesting. The Portland Anchors one was cool. I like the chain in there, and then the anchor almost hooking onto a rock. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the Atlanta Thrashers one was really interesting as well. NOUR Noir, Newer. I'm gonna say Noir. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. But some great designs in there. The Quebec Nordiques one, I love. I thought that was just so good. The Portland Anchors one was also great with a bit of like snow on top of the anchor hooks. Just great. The Houston Aeros one was cool, but I felt like the plane being the same color as the A in the background really blended too much together. So like I liked it, but it wasn't my total favorite. Halifax Highlanders one, I love the colors. Like colors are awesome. Even though you guys know if you know me, yellow isn't one of my favorite colors, but to me it works here. The flag is a little bit represented in there. You got the lighthouse, which is so popular in the land of Canada and specifically around Halifax. There's all kinds of lighthouses. The Atlanta Thrashers one was good too. Just a really great set here overall from Noir. Okay, Patrick is next, and he's got a cool Quebec Nordiques one. I love the gradient in the Houston Aeros one though. So the plane and then the wings makes up the A. Very innovative, very inventive there. And then the gradient, which starts green, goes to white, and then comes out to the green on the sides and on the bottom. Really, really good implementation of a gradient. One of the best implementations of a gradient I think I've seen in any contest that I've ever done. So great job on that one, Patrick. Rod submitted these ones. I want to like the Nordiques one because I think teams like the Hurricanes, right? They got their away jersey. It says Canes. If the Nordiques came back, would people call them the Nords? Probably not. It just makes me think of NordVPN, the company. But I can see them doing that. Like, I wouldn't like it, but I could see them doing it. The Aeros one is cool. The Scouts one is really cool. Just some really, really good designs here overall. Our Sean created these ones. Again, no real disappointment here from anyone. Some really good designs overall. The Atlanta Thrashers one I thought was really cool. The Halifax Highlanders one was cool. Man, just some, again, awesome job, guys. Ryan, with these ones, Ryan's got some awesome colors from the Portland Anchors. I love the purple happening in there, and also the state outline kind of hooked in with the anchor was really cool. The Harleys one was neat. I like the colors there as well, and the colors are great in the Atlanta Thrashers too. Sam, just Sam for this one. Houston Aeros, look at the colors. You got yellow and purple and a bit of green in there. Kind of mysterious. I like that. Quebec Nordiques one was cool. Got some snowshoes. The Portland Anchors was really cool as well, working in a bit of flowers. I don't know if you'd see that in hockey, but I thought the logo was cool just in general. Scott created these ones. I liked the Houston Aeros one, great colors. The Quebec Nordiques one, I'm not sure if this one would work or not. I like the circularness of it. We're very used to that in hockey. There's almost too much texture or detail in the snow area. I'm not sure how that would look as an actual physical logo, but some really cool ones in here for sure. Tissa created these ones, if I'm not mistaken. She's from the Philippines, so a really cool submission all the way from the Philippines, and some just brilliant drawings here, absolutely brilliant drawings. The Houston Aeros one, love the colors, like love the colors. The Atlanta Thrashers one I thought was a really innovative look at a new kind of logo for them, almost like a playing it cool, not happy, not ferocious or angry, just playing it cool. Like, yeah, we're pretty good. We're a pretty good hockey team. Got the sunglasses on, just chilling on the hockey stick, coming out of the A. I just thought that was really cool to see that. The Quebec Nordiques one was also really interesting. A lot of really cool, intricate designs in here. And then the Kansas City Scouts one down below. Not a thing I'd change about it. I just thought it was really unique. Tyler created these ones. Some good designs in here. The Anchors logo is awesome. The Thrashers one is cool. The Houston Aeros is also pretty cool. You got a bit of it looks like a bomb. Could be a rocket. I'm not sure. Either way, I did like it. Yanni or Yoni created these ones. The Atlanta Thrashers one was really, really cool. I think that is one of the best simplistic versions of a new Atlanta Thrashers brand I've ever seen. I also like the Houston Aeros one. I felt like the Quebec Nordiques one was a bit of a miss just based on expression. The eyes tell the ferocity story, but the mouth didn't. The mouth is smiling. So I like to see the emotion from the eyes match the emotion from the mouth. The Harleys one was cool. Great job. Yuri created these ones, some really good ones in here. The Quebec Nordiques one, it's a little bit clashing. You've got an igloo and then some castles. I'm not sure if those two things really go together, but I thought the colors were cool and the design is neat. What else you got going here? The Portland Anchors one, that one was cool. I like the colors and I like the kind of the rope. A lot of chains in some of the other logos. He went with the rope and it does look good. Zambonium, which is a neat name. Amazing. Absolutely amazing logos in here. The Atlanta Thrashers logo. It is so symmetrical. The colors are perfect. It makes me nostalgic. It looks like something that was made in like the mid 80s, but can you imagine that on a jersey? And it also represents like the shape of a bird. It's just such a great logo. The Halifax Highlanders one, again, just a very simplistic design. You got the H, but then a bit of a scarf. The Highlanders, the Vikings, whatever, they wear some scarves. So you've got some flag representation in there, some color. The colors are great. The Portland Anchors one, so good. Like that is one of the most perfect logos on the front of a jersey like that I've ever seen. Like I can absolutely see that on the front of a jersey. It looks phenomenal. Sorry, not sure if you guys heard that or not. My computer made a noise. Just turned down my volume here. Yeah, I mean, great overall. This is a phenomenal set of logos here. Houston Aeros one is also incredible. Next up. Oh, that was the last one. Obviously, Z or Z, depending on how you pronounce it, depending on where you're from. So we've gone through them all. We've looked at all the designs. Now it's time to take you through and show you the top 3 from each team. All right, friends, let's start off with the Atlanta Thrashers, okay? So these are my top 3 of all the logos that were all created by everyone. These were my top 3 favorite. This isn't going to be like a representation of the winner. So if my favorite logo for the Atlanta Thrashers isn't the overall winner, like we're going to go through each team, just going to tell you my top 3, then I'm going to show you the finalists, then I'm going to show you the top 5, and then we'll go 5 all the way to 1, tell you the winner. So let's start off with the Atlanta Thrashers. These were my 3 favorite. Going from top to bottom, so first is at the top, second is in the middle, third is at the bottom. So I thought the best Atlanta Thrashers logo overall was created by Jackson. Just a great logo. I can see the bird in there. I love the colors. It's not the original colors exactly, but it's perfect. Like the relationship between the yellow and the blue, the lighter blue is great. The relationship between the darker blue and the yellow is great, or gold, depending on how you want to say that. It also kind of like makes up an A, the entire shape. It's ferocious. It's got everything that you would want in a logo. It's also simplistic, no text, which I love. So that was my favorite. Congratulations, Jackson. You had the best Atlanta Thrashers logo. The second best was the one by Zambonium. I talked a little bit about it not too long ago. It's symmetrical. It makes up the shape of a bird. It's very simplistic. It's colorful. It has most of the original colors in there. Just a great design overall. And then Tissa with my third favorite. Again, I guess I talked about it pretty recently as well. It's just unique. It's very unique from anything else that we've seen in the competition. I don't know how it would look on the front of a jersey. It's a bit left-weighted because the bird and the stick come all the way out. But I just thought it was such a cool design. I really wanted to give it some props. This was a hard one. There were a lot of really, really good Atlanta Thrashers logos out there. I really struggled picking a top 3. If I did this a week later, the top 3 might be a little bit different. That's how many good Atlanta Thrashers logos there were. Okay, next team on the list is the Halifax Highlanders. And my favorite here is by Eric. My second favorite is by Noir. And my third favorite is by Zambonium. So congratulations, Eric. You have my favorite Halifax Highlanders logo. This one was also extremely hard. There was probably like 12 that I sat down and I'm like, how am I going to decide? Like, they were all so good. But I decided to go with Eric as the number 1. I think the colors are unique to the NHL for the most part. It's a symmetrical design. It's got a sword in there, which is cool. It also makes up a shield. I can absolutely see it in the front of a jersey. The second one by Noir was great. I love the colors. Again, kind of looks like a shield. I can totally see that on the front of a jersey. It's got the lighthouse in there, which is very representative of Atlantic Canada. And the colors, man, again, the colors are just great. And then the last one by Zambonium. So Zambonium, he's 2 for 2 here, being the top 3. He or she, sorry. But again, simplistic design, colors are great. It looks great. Like, there's nothing negative to say about it, honestly. The Hamilton Tigers. This one was a struggle for me, actually. So let's bring up these ones. So my number one favorite was by Christian Z. My second favorite, which is in the middle, is by Liam. And my third favorite was by Nick at the bottom. So the top one, I felt like it's very outside of my box of likeness. Typically, I wouldn't choose a logo like this if I'm not. I don't really know how to describe this or explain how I feel about this, but that's not a Neo logo. But for this one, I really tried to be like look through someone else's perspective, because I know a lot of people really love these logos, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like it's very symmetrical, which is great. It's got dimension, which is awesome. It's just I typically don't go towards the letter style logos, but objectively, this is a great logo. For all the reasons I mentioned throughout this video when I've talked about it. You know, it makes sense color-wise to their history. I like the playfulness of the T and the H interacting together. Like, it's a great logo. It really is, and I can absolutely see that on the front of a jersey. The second one, this one was by Liam. A great drawing here, and the hardcore designers might criticize this and be like, man, it's not even symmetrical. It's like there's so much more space on the right. It's not neat. It's not tidy. The colors are kind of coming outside the lines. It's not about this. You're not creating a final logo for a team. You know, you're not applying for a job. This is really about the conceptual idea. What kind of idea can you come up with? It's not really about the execution. I thought Liam, you know, it's not the perfect execution by Liam, but the idea is what's important. And I think he had a great idea here with this one. I really like it. I can see this filling out into a digital style logo and looking really good. So props to Liam here for this drawing. Third, I picked Nick. Again, I had a hard time kind of describing the style of this logo, but it's great. I've said symmetrical probably like 90 times in this video so far, but I mean, I'm talking about logos. I gotta say it, right? It's symmetrical. The H on the forehead is pretty cool. Call it to Hamilton. Eyes, aggressive. Mouth, aggressive. Nose, perked up, and aggressive. So this is just phenomenal. It's a great logo, great logo. So congratulations to you three for being in the top three of the Hamilton Tigers. Let's move on to the Houston Aeros. This one was so difficult, maybe the most difficult of all of them, because there were so many great Houston Aeros logos. But the top one I thought was by Jason. Just perfect. There's not a single thing I would change about it. I love everything about it. I love that it's got dimension. I love the colors. I love that it makes up a general shape. It looks like one of the kind of logos that you'd see on the wing. Not so much in the American Air Force, more so in the RAF, but it looks good. It still looks damn good. So props to Jason there. The second one was Liam. So Liam is 2 for 2, I guess, in the last two. Great drawing here. I love the plane in there. The outline of the Texas state is great. You got some Houston Aeros in there as well. Just great colors. Everything is really, really good about this one. I liked it a lot. And then Jackson down below. I said earlier that I would talk about this logo a little bit more, but I guess I kind of went on a bit of a rant earlier about the logo. Again, questions about this negative space in here that would separate the physical version of this, but I like the just minimalistic take on this. The colors look good. It's simple. It's representative of a plane. It's representative of the state of Texas. It's just great. It's a great logo. Okay, moving on to the Kansas City Scouts. My top three favorite. Number one was Tissa, with that awesome like stylistic one. I love the stylization of the font of Scouts. You got the hockey stick in there, so there's hockey stick representation, and then a bit of like flame or like mane of a horse or something. I'm not sure what that is, but I like it. Okay, it's a little bit left weighted. You think that most of the text is off to the left, and you've got that. I'm just gonna call it fire. Get the fire off to the left as well. So it's very left weighted, but the length of the hockey stick and also the extension of the fire down below on the right kind of balances it. So at first glance, it's a bit weighted to the left from a design perspective, but after closer inspection, it's also weighted to the right a bit, so it's got good balance. In second place here is Nick with just a tremendous design. I would love to see this on a jersey. I think it is perfect for the Kansas City Scouts. I wanted to give Tissa number one because I felt like her logo was he or she, right? I don't know if Tissa's a girl. I think it is. I felt like it was very unique, and I felt like that deserved to be number one. Where Nick's in the second place here, although it's perfect in basically every way, it also looks like a bunch of horse logos that I've seen quite a bit. So it's not that there's anything wrong with it. I just felt like I've never seen anything like Tissa's before. I wanted to reward it, okay? And very close, though. Very close, 1 and 2 here. Number 3 is by Jason. Great design, and you've got the horse in there making up the shield. Like, the shield looks so good. It's just, I don't know, there's nothing I'd change about it. I like everything about it. I think it would look great on the front of a jersey. So congratulations to Jason there as well for being in the top 3. All right, moving on to the Milwaukee Harleys. We've got Jason, number 1. I love the design here. Very symmetrical. Hockey call out with the sticks, but it looks totally like a Harleys logo. So just on every aspect, this would work. As a primary logo, I think as a shoulder patch, just a great overall design. And then the M in there at the bottom for Milwaukee. The second one was by Jan. The H was stylized very nicely. The hockey stick coming through. Got some dimension with some shadow of the black or some stroke of the black. Just a great design overall. And then Nick with the third one, the Milwaukee Harleys, kind of called out in the entire logo there. You've got the wheel. You've got a bit of representation from the city. You know, the Milwaukee Brewers kind of use that wheat texture a little bit, so it's nice to see that in there. Colors are very unique from anyone else that designed anything for the Milwaukee Harleys. I thought Nick did a great job there. Moving on to the Quebec Nordiques. So my number 1 here is Jan or Yan. Simple, right? It's a very simple logo. Got the fleur-de-lis, got the puck, got the Q for Quebec. Colors are perfect, just a great design. The second one was by Liam. So another great design, another great drawing here by Liam. Colors are great. You can see the wolf in there, the fleur-de-lis, talked about it earlier. And then third, Noir, I thought that was great. Now, there might be a little bit of controversy here. I know some people get offended by certain, I don't know the right word, representation of cultures, I guess maybe. So there's an igloo in here. How many people in Quebec actually live in igloos? Probably none, okay? But so I think some people will likely have a problem with it. I don't. I really like it. I love this logo. I think it's great. It's got representation of the North. The colors are great. Hockey is represented in there. Fleur-de-lis. It's got all the goods, okay? So I like that one a lot. But congratulations to Jan on my favorite for the Quebec Nordiques. Now off to the last one, the Portland Anchors. Number 1 here is Zambonium. Just a phenomenal logo. The colors are awesome. The P is in there. The anchor is in there, but just at a different perspective to make up the opposite section of the P. Most people went with the anchor at the bottom. He went with a different direction, and I think it works. Like just the separation on the left that makes up the anchor, perfect. Like, man, what a great logo. In second place, we've got Jackson. So I did a bit of a call out to this earlier where I said that I like to see the colors be a little bit different from the anchor to the P. So that is my main reason why this didn't come number 1. I think I like the design of this one more than the first one at the top, but the implementation was better from Zambonium's versus Jackson's. Again, just switch up the colors maybe on Jackson's, and that might be number 1. And number 3, I put Nick's. I thought the colors were really cool. I love the intricacies on the logo potentially. I'm thinking about this being created as an actual logo. Also, that's one of the logos that you want to look at for a while because there's so many cool things on it. You got the text on there. Everything's kind of contained in one general shape as well. So really, really cool. Those are my top 3 for every single team. Now you might be wondering, who's the winner? Well, let's see. Let's get into the finalists here. I just need to bring it up on my computer. Give me a second. All right, so these are the finalists in no particular order. We've got Noir, we've got Nick, Tissa, Christian Z, Eric, Liam, Jason, Jan, Zambonium. Did I say them all? Noir, Tissa, Eric, Christian Z, Liam, Jan, Jason, Zambonium, Jackson, Nick. I think I said them all. Anyways, top 10. Let's do the top 5, okay? I didn't do anything above the top 5, so let's start off with number 5 in 5th place for this competition. Congratulations to Yan. Unfortunately, no prize, but great designs overall. Like looking just overall at your designs, so many good ones in here. So absolutely deserved in the top 5, I thought, and drawn as well. Most of the submissions were digital. Jan was one of the only ones to submit drawn logos, and they look awesome. So great job on that. Number 4, I put Nick Stella. Nick Stella. Great, again, overall, wonderful designs. Atlanta one was good. The Houston Aeros ones was good. I have some, critical things about it that I maybe dislike relationship-wise between the play and the text. It's still a good logo. The Halifax one was great. The Milwaukee one was great. The Kansas City one was great. Like overall, so many good ones in here. I was a little bit critical of the Halifax one just because, like I said earlier, it's a good logo, but I feel like I've seen it on the NHL games or, just in generic Viking logos. Same like these all I would say all these logos look like they came off of like the NHL games. That's not a negative thing. That's not I'm not saying that to be hurtful or negative. That's a compliment in a way. These are very like stylistic, all in the same way. Could all be in an NHL game. That's not a bad thing, just how I feel. Number 3, we got Jackson. So, Houston Aeros, great logo. Atlanta Thrashers, amazing logo. Portland Anchors, great logo. But I wasn't a big fan of the Hamilton Tigers. I wasn't a big fan of the Milwaukee Harleys. The Quebec Nordiques one I thought was a little bit busy. So while I thought the Atlanta Thrashers was my favorite, the Portland Anchors was my favorite for those teams, Houston Aeros also made the top 3 for him. He could have won. However, I just felt like because of some of the other ones kind of like pulling it down, like the Tigers one, the Harleys one, I felt like they were pulling it down. So I couldn't say that I liked them all, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at, but definitely top 5. Number 2 is Zambonium. Amazing, amazing. But for the same reason for Jackson, I couldn't give it number 1. I liked the Houston Aeros one. I thought that one was really cool. The Atlanta Thrashers one was phenomenal. The Halifax Highlanders one was so good. I don't mind the Quebec Nordiques one. It's okay. The Hamilton Tiger ones, I don't like that one at all. I think it's too cartoony. There's a smile on the face. There's almost, I can see the H in there, which is cool, but there's almost like too much going on the forehead. The Milwaukee Harleys one was, it's okay. It's generic. Portland Anchors one was great. Kansas City Scouts one was very good. But I feel like the Hamilton Tigers one, I just felt was bringing it down quite a bit. And the winner, so congratulations to Jason Ronaldo. Congratulations. Someone who submitted, I think, in every contest that I've ever done and never won. But I felt like looking at all of the designs, the Houston Aeros one was perfect. I wouldn't change it. The Atlanta Thrashers one was so good as well. Kansas City Scouts one, that one was in the top 3. The Halifax Highlanders one, although not my favorite design, very unique. Seahorse, H, got the texture in there for some Highlander stuff, some Scottish stuff. That was great. Really cool colors as well. The Harleys one was great. That was my favorite Harleys one. The Hamilton Tigers one was my least favorite of all of them, but I still liked it. I like to see more aggression or more visibility from the eyes. The Portland Anchors one was great as well. It didn't make the top 3, but I really liked it. The Quebec Nordiques one was okay. But there's none of these ones I disliked, okay? So congratulations to Jason Ronaldo. This was very difficult for me to decide on the winner. I reached out to some of my personal friends to get their take. I reached out to some of my designer friends to get their take. I wanted some opinions out there. I didn't want to do this all myself, but ultimately I did make the final decision. So again, round of applause to not just Jason, primarily Jason because he won, but everyone. So many incredible designs in here. And I have to say that, even though that you didn't win, if you're watching this and you're a contestant and you didn't win, man, think about all the work that you put into that. Think about, you can add that to your design portfolio. You've learned probably new methods of drawing, or you come up with different ideas. Maybe that will lead you to something else in life. Maybe it'll progress you as a designer. So even though you lost, I think there's still a lot of positivity for everyone here. It's great to see everyone's work as well. Lots of great contributions from the community. And just cool to think about. Cool to think about these new teams. And what would they look like? What would the logos look like? Some amazing ideas out there from you guys. And I thank you so much to everyone who submitted into this contest. But Jason, congratulations. You have won a HockeyRooms.ca arena sticker set for your wall. I displayed it in the contest announcement. Maybe I'll throw up another photo of it as well so you can see what it looks like. But just a really, really cool prize. Shout out to HockeyRooms.ca for sponsoring this contest with this prize. I'm going to be sending this out to Jason. And Jason, if you don't mind, if you do get this up, please send me a photo of it. I'd love to share it with my followers on Twitter and on here on YouTube. So really cool. Again, shout out to HockeyRooms.ca. If you want to go there and save some money, you can use code POST2POST. That's going to save you some money. Really, really cool. Anytime I can give away a hockey product is a win. So massive shout out to HockeyRooms.ca. And of course, we've got some jerseys as well. Congratulations, Jason. You've won a Fanatics Vegas Golden Knights jersey. You've got a Fanatics New Jersey Devils jersey. You've got a Chicago Blackhawks Adidas jersey stitched, and a Calgary Flames away previous version stitched with Johnny Gaudreau on the back. Congratulations to you for winning these prizes. Loved your designs. Thank you so much for submitting them and submitting in all previous contests. I mean, I said that earlier. Jason has, almost knocked something over. Jason has submitted in every previous contest that I've done, I think. He's never won. Can you imagine always submitting to a contest, probably 10 plus contests, and always losing? That's the thing. Progression every time. You might not win this contest. What about the next one? What about the one after that? Keep getting better, and you could win. Jason's the perfect example of that. So what lovely designs, Jason, and thank you again to everyone for submitting and watching this. Maybe you didn't submit a design, you just watched and you just like to see people's designs, so I thank you for watching. If you are new, please consider hitting the subscribe button because I do contests 4 times a year. This is the second contest of the year. The next one is going to be announced soon. Hope you guys have a great weekend. It is hot in here. This is a long video. I'm going to go rest after this. Take care, guys. Have a great night. Adios.